What's going on, everyone? What's going on? What's going on? Just getting set up here. We have about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. They're just kind of... They're not really doing much. They're showing symbols on the screen with some loud music, so I have it muted right now. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Let me get the... See if I can get the chat rolling here. I don't know why. Whenever I do this, I have to, like, refresh the cache of the chat until it eventually just starts flying in. Not really sure why that is. Maybe I'll just pop out the chat too to make it easier so I can see it. I can kind of put it over here even. All right, there we go. Yeah, so we're still waiting. They have like music blasting right now on like on their page. So I'm just gonna kind of let that. I'm gonna keep that muted for now because it is very loud music that has nothing to do with it. So just let it do its thing. What's going on, everyone? How's it going? Yep, about 10 minutes. Yep, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So we'll see what they have here with their gaming platform / streaming service / who knows. They have something, I guess. We'll find out. Let me fix that real quick. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? Let me get the window. There we go. Make that a little bigger. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, mostly because either way, they should have some sort of. They should have some games. And not like that's the thing. The biggest thing is they need to sell us with games. So now we need to see if they're actually going to have them. That's the biggest thing, because we've heard that they have a lot of money invested in game development right now. So if they don't have anything really good, there's not going to be a point in doing any of this, whether it's streaming or even a box or something to sell you. I think their controller has to be good too. That's the thing. Like they're going to have at least a controller. So that's most likely what's going to have to happen. At least a controller. Oh, the chat's flying in now. There it goes. If they don't even have a controller, that's a problem. So they've hyped it up quite a bit. So if it is like next generation streaming, that'll be interesting to see how they change things up. But they've brought in all of the game consoles, which is interesting at GDC. There are pictures of it, and they have like. Apparently, they have more than just the Dreamcast, the Power Glove, and the 2600. Somebody took a picture of it and put it up like that, and I thought it was pretty funny. But apparently, there's like a PlayStation 1 system there, for example. There's a couple things, so. Yeah, and we expect... Yeah, so there you go. Khonshu even says it. Yeah, they have support for a lot of controllers. They just added... support for... Who else did they add support for? They had support for the Switch Pro controller and the Joy-Con controllers very recently as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on there leading up to this event. They've made a ton of hires, so they at least have people in place to have games show up. And if they're doing a streaming service, you got to put a lot of games on there. So that's the thing. Apparently, they have a lot of controller support built into Chrome, and that's the biggest thing I think they would have to do. With they'd have to have Chrome integration with their streaming service first of all, and the streaming service has to at least be good. What I used with Project Stream was good, but it wasn't amazing because you could still see a lot of artifacting and stuff. Where for example, if you watch a YouTube video that's like 1080p on a bigger TV, for example, and you know how you can see kind of like the squares and stuff that are in like very dark areas is probably the easiest time to see it. If you're still running into that, it's not going to be fun. And that's what I remember seeing with Project Stream. It was actually fairly responsive, so I'll give them that. Like, it was playable. So we'll see what happens with this. But either way, it's interesting to see what Google can present. I don't know if they're going to be ready right away either, but they've technically already done a beta. So, like, I did the beta with Project Stream. Apparently, they gave me a copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the PC, and I didn't even play it. Well, I have it on the Xbox One, so I wasn't looking to start it back up on... Are they already starting? Or are they just flashing rain? Let me see what they're... I'm going to turn this on, guys, music-wise. So brace yourself just in case it's loud, techno-y music. Oh, no. Okay, no, they're still... I'll at least show you guys what I'm talking about with this music. Hold on. They changed it up slightly. It was like straight up like nightclub techno music there for a little while. We still have another 5 minutes or so, guys. Yeah, we're expecting something from Sega there. That's the other thing. There are some plans in the works right now with Sega. I know there's at least one game that they're working on, but that one I'll leave for a surprise. But yeah, it sounds like what happened was Google just went to all the third parties and asked them about putting their stuff on here. That's why id Software is going to be there. That's why Ubisoft desperately wants this to work. Like, they really do. They really, really want streaming to take off, because Ubisoft is fine with consoles, but they know that if they can get like Assassin's Creed to cell phones, they're going to be like super happy about that. So I think if anything, they might introduce, they have to have a controller that they sell you. Like, even if it's like a Steam controller, they have to at least do that. And then they might have it integrate with Chromecast, and maybe they'll have like a little streaming box that you can buy. That's very possible as well. But it'll be an interesting thing to see. I'm most interested in the games because they have to show up with something interesting. They can't just show up and say streaming and that's it. Like, they have to have like, this is one of our new IPs, because they have apparently been developing new IPs. So that'd be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if EA tried to get on board with being integrated into Chrome. So there's a lot of things I wouldn't be shocked to see. But it should be interesting either way. It should be interesting, I think. Yeah, that's the other question. Zelda fan is, are they going to charge for all of that? Like, is there a subscription service to use their streaming device or their streaming service if you are buying games through them? Or are they just going to provide that as like a thing as long as you're buying games from them? You know what I mean? Like, if you buy a game from them and you already know you're going to stream it and they already have your money, are they just going to open it up for anyone to stream? Or do you have to pay like $10 a month, you know what I mean, for that to use their streaming service? There's a lot of questions to answer here. A lot of questions. Yeah, Bandai Namco. I talked about that a while ago. Bandai Namco had posted, oh, was that the beginning of January? It might have been the beginning of January that they were talking with Google over like coffee or something. They put it on Twitter, and I remember I pointed that out when that happened. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Xenoverse even. Xenoverse would be a good one, I think. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has like a free edition right now in Japan. And they could drop that on there. They could also just drop all of it. So a lot of interesting stuff there. Yeah, the on-live approach is exactly right. This is probably going to be the biggest thing that Google wants to push, of course, outside of new hardware, is to say, hey, we are the actual on-live that's going to work. Oh, Alan Moore, thanks for the 20. It says, keep up the good work. Treat yourself to a game. I will. Sekiro. I never know how to pronounce it. I go back and forth. It's coming out Friday. I'm picking that thing up. And it's going to probably mess me up over and over again. But I am on it. I am on it. King Jones says, how do you feel about the new space internets that like Starlink and OneWeb that have a millisecond of 25 and 1 gigabit a second download coming next year? I think that's awesome. I have what do I have? I have 1 gigabit down. It's not 1 gigabyte. I have 1 gigabit down and like 40 megabits up. That's just what Comcast offers, man. Comcast is tough. Yeah, but I'm gonna be picking up Sekiro, Alan. Absolutely, that's Friday, so I'm sure I'll get really messed up on that. But I'll talk about it on the podcast, though. Oh, Saturday. That'll be fun. Jason says, spoiler alert, Atari VCS delayed and upgraded yesterday since it will end up being integrated into Google Console. Atari's all over the place right now. The fact that they updated us yesterday randomly after my video was kind of funny. People on the Reddit were even like, oh, Spawn Wave made them do an update. I don't know if I made them, but the timing was really funny. Very coincidental. I think we're about to start here. Let me see if they're still blasting club music. They are. They're still blasting music, so that's nice. I'll leave that. I don't know if that's... I never even think about that. I assume they don't use, like, copyrighted music for these things, but who knows? That's why I'm always concerned about playing more than a few seconds of a track like that when it's, like, on the build-up. I've seen people, like, get in trouble for that. They just sent an email to all who were in stream I was in the stream program. Did I get an email? Oh, I did. Hold on. Might have breaking news here. We're going live at GDC. Come see how you helped create one place for all the ways we play. There you go. Yep, and they just sent me an email for Project Stream as well. So I assume it's going to be called something different, right? It's not going to be called Project Stream. What does Google call this thing? Keynote will be short. What do they call this thing? That's the other question. The one interesting thing is, if it's open to everyone, if you have a Chrome browser, most likely you can try it. You know what I mean? Like, I think they also have a trial, like a basically you get like an hour for free just to play. So yeah, if you're on Project Stream, check your inbox. You probably got it. It's basically saying, hey, come check us out. Thanks for helping. I helped, okay? I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey for like 3 hours. It cannot be worse than It can't be worse than Atari Box. That's true. Oh, man. Spawn, did you hear about the new Left 4 Dead Back for Blood from Turtle Rock Studios? Don't recall you covering it. I did hear about it. I want to actually see gameplay before I really dive into it, Gibby. But I did get I actually got the press release a few hours before they announced it. And I sat there and thought about it. And I said, didn't they do Evolve? I need to at least see gameplay of it after Evolve, which I wasn't as happy with Evolve. So if I get some gameplay of it and it looks awesome and it's just straight up like Left 4 Dead action, I'm going to be on it and I'll be a little bit more interested in covering it. But I need to at least see gameplay, and I sent them an email asking about it, and they didn't have any gameplay or anything ready, trailer, nothing. So E3 maybe they'll show it off, and that's when we'll really cover it. I'm actually almost done Kingdom Hearts 3, Mr. Potato Head. I'm on the 9th world. I'm getting closer to the end, so I'm rolling through it. But like, games kept coming out while I was trying to play it, so I have to keep switching off. But I'm just about done, actually. I'm just about done. I'm doing Division 2 right now, and then I'm gonna move to Sekiro on Friday, and then Yoshi is next week. So then I'll move to Yoshi. So it's there's some games, but then in April, what is in April? We have the Final Fantasies are in. I'm gonna play through Final Fantasy X again, aren't I? Oh man. Kazuma says calling it the system will be called Google Plex. Okay, we'll remember that one. All right, Kazuma. All right, I got you down for that. Well, it's. Let's see if we can get the audio just right here. I'll play around with the audio as we go, since I'm sure they'll be talking, it'll be quieter or whatnot. Here we go. This is the trailer they showed us before, so we've already seen this.
Please welcome to the stage the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you all for joining us. I suppose I should start out with a confession. I'm actually not a big gamer, though I do play FIFA 19 quite a bit and really enjoy how immersive it is. I also play Ashes cricket quite a bit. And for those of you who are wondering what cricket is, it's kind of like baseball, but better. Another little-known fact is that Google makes arguably the most played game on the internet today. It's the Dino Chrome game, mostly played when there's no internet connection. Not going to talk to you about the high-quality graphics and sophistication you all are used to, but it does have a lot of players, and I've probably logged more hours than I care to admit. While I'm not a big gamer, I do have the privilege of working at a company and leading a company full of people who love to solve hard computer science problems. For many Googlers, their journey with computers started with games.
I might Spectrum.
Games have inspired many generations of people to pursue
Nintendo getting into the phone market.
And through that process, they build resourcefulness, creativity, and collaboration.
It sounds like that might have been some speculation, though.
That are key to solving hard problems. And within Google and Alphabet, games play a big part in developing our own technology.
Google Lift.
The best example I can think of is how we are making progress on AI. DeepMind's AlphaZero uses self-play to learn from scratch and master games like chess, shogi, and Go. It's an important step towards creating a flexible, general-purpose system that can learn to solve many foundational problems. More recently, AlphaStar became the first AI to defeat a top professional player at StarCraft II.
Cool, one place.
Using a deep neural network trained directly from raw game data. Increasingly, games are helping AIs learn to tackle real-world challenges. Even beyond DeepMind, another great example we have is Waymo, where we use simulations in gaming-like environments to test things that aren't actually possible or safe at scale in the real world. In fact, Waymo has driven more than 5 billion hours in simulations of edge case scenarios that vehicles wouldn't normally encounter. And we use it, we learn from it, and actually improve the systems that we'll be deploying in the real world. Perhaps the biggest impact of gaming is how it pushes us to make big leaps in computing and networking power, higher fidelity graphics, and the infrastructure that supports it all. All of you are pushing computing and technology forward, and I find that really exciting. At Google, we've always believed that technology should adapt to people, not the other way around. We've been building towards this vision for some time. For example, when we launched Chrome a decade ago, we envisioned that it could be a modern platform for web applications and bring the power of web to everyone, including use cases that seemed impossible at that time, like high-quality games. Finally, we are making progress towards that goal. In fact, over the past 2 years, we've been hard at work on game streaming technology. And last fall, we launched our first public test with Project Stream. As some of you guessed, a technical test wasn't the whole view of our ambition. It was probably the worst kept secret in the industry. Internally, we were actually testing our ability to stream high-fidelity graphics over a low-latency network. We learned that we could bring a AAA game to any device with a Chrome browser and an internet connection, using the best of Google to create a powerful game platform. And when we say best of Google, it always starts with our cloud and networking infrastructure. Our custom server hardware and data centers can bring more computing power to more people on planet Earth than anyone else. Today, we are in 19 regions and in over 200 countries and territories, connected by hundreds of thousands of miles of fiber optic cables. The best of Google also includes our open platforms that allow you to reach billions of people. With Google, your games will be immediately discoverable by over 2 billion people on a Chrome browser, Chromebooks, Chromecast, Pixel devices, and we have plans to support more browsers and platforms over time. That's in addition to all the people playing and watching games across YouTube and Google Play. And when we build these ecosystems, we always take the approach that we only succeed when our partners do. Collectively, our partners across web, Google Play, and YouTube have earned more than $110 billion over the past 4 years alone, and we are committed to this approach here as well. So now we are focused on our next big effort, which is to build a game platform for everyone. And when we say for everyone, we really mean it. It's one of our most cherished values as a company. Be it Android or Chrome or AI, we are dead serious about making technology accessible for everyone. But if you think about games, there are a lot of barriers for users to play high-end games. Beautiful graphics really need high-end consoles or PCs. And games don't have instant access. Think about the way the web works. You can easily share a link, and it works seamlessly.
I mean, we
want games to feel that way too. Instantly enjoyable with access for everyone.
I just put Division 2 in, and it was a 50 gigabyte patch.
I think we can change the game by bringing together the power and creativity of the entire community. People who love to play games, people who love to watch games, and people who love to build games. That means all of you. We are really excited to work with you. We want to build a platform. We want you to show us what's possible. And together, I think we can create a new games experience, powered by Best of Google and built for everyone. Let's take a look.
From the beginning of time, games have brought us together. Players and spectators. By the handful, the hundreds and the thousands. We built stadiums, places to gather around every kind of spectacle. Glory, tragedy, pageantry, community, rivalry, and wonder.
Yeah, it seems to be the evolution of their Project Stream that they did at the end of last year.
Thousands of years in, our games have changed.
It seems like they're going to integrate it with YouTube as well.
This new era of gaming needs a new place to gather. One place where anything you dream can be built. Playgrounds for every imagination. One place where you and everyone you know and everyone they know will all play together.
Let's go! Let's go, squad! Let's go! Yes! Get him! Boom!
One place that never stops evolving. Where everyone will play.
Where did he come from?
And watch.
Yes! High five! Strike! Bam!
And create.
Winner! Woo! Nice!
From any screen, at any time.
Oh, there's is that their controller, I guess?
For all the ways
that looked really similar to that render, didn't it?
This is Stadia.
Stadia. Interesting.
Gather round.
That controller looked pretty similar to that rendering, didn't it? Stadia.
Welcome to Stadia. We are so excited by this. To do this well, it's important that we have the right people working on this, experts with deep history and heritage in games. That starts with Phil Harrison, who joined us about a year ago. He's a great leader and a great gamer. Definitely someone who knows the difference between RPGs and NPCs. I'm going to pass the mic over to Phil to show you what we have built. Take it away, Phil.
Thank you, Sundar. That's great. Thank you, Sundar. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for joining us at GDC as we finally get to share Google's vision for the future of games, where the worlds of watching and playing games converge into a new generation game platform purpose-built for the 21st century, powered by the best of Google. Our vision for Stadia is simple. One place for all the ways we play.
Brian's on that one place.
Focused on gamers, inspired by developers, and amplified by YouTube creators. Today, our industry captivates over 2 billion players from all around the world. At the center of that community, its beating heart, are the game developers, the people in this room that create the most incredible game experiences that delight players with engrossing stories, characters, and worlds through a dazzling display of technology, artistry, and magic. Games are now the single biggest form of entertainment on the planet.
This Google gonna censor like Sony does.
Community across geographies, cultures, and language.
Maybe.
And within that passionate community, there is a universe of people who love playing games, and there's a universe of people who love watching games. Hundreds of millions of people watch gaming content
Spawn, I see his shirt off. Maybe that'll be a charity thing at some point.
But those two worlds are mostly disconnected, fragmented, and often independent of each other. Our vision is to bring those worlds closer together, to connect game developers with players and YouTube creators in a way that only Google can, creating a richer and more vibrant gaming community for everyone to enjoy. Through the power of our data centers, the extraordinary reach and community of YouTube, and our investments in the fundamental technologies that are the foundations of the open internet, we offer a truly unique opportunity to combine these worlds. We will be handing that extraordinary power of the data center over to you, the game developers, where playgrounds for every imagination can be created. Our first public test of this came in October of last year with Project Stream, where we streamed a AAA HD game at up to 1080p and 60 frames per second over the internet from Google data centers to a Chrome browser. We were humbled by the overwhelmingly positive response from players who were able to join us on Project Stream.
I think it's trying to bring everyone together, kind of.
Thank you to those of you who participated in Project Stream and for your vital feedback. And also to the amazing people at Ubisoft for trusting us with the latest incarnation of their incredible game franchise, Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft has always been at the forefront of advancements in the games industry, and they have an incredible track record of success and creativity. And joining us here in the audience today, I'm delighted to welcome the CEO and co-founder of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot. Thank you, Yves. I'd like to thank Yves and his team for partnering with us, and to producer Marc-Alexis Cote and the entire Ubisoft Quebec studio for their masterpiece creation, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Thank you for bringing your game to our platform, and congratulations for being the first game played by the public on Stadia. As many of you experienced with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we now have the ability to take a sophisticated, graphically intense AAA game and stream it to a Chrome browser running on a simple laptop without any sacrifice to the quality or vision of the game developer.
That would be interesting. Like, you just got to buy the game.
Our ambition is, of course, far beyond a single game. As we developed our strategy for this new platform, we asked developers how we can help solve some of the most critical challenges you face. There were three very clear themes that resonated. You told us you wanted to unleash your creativity without limits, get to the widest possible scale, and make it easier for people to connect with your games. We used these three themes to anchor our vision and build our platform architecture, and began to share it with the leading publishers and developers in the world. Now, let me show you how we have brought this vision to life. Imagine you are watching games on YouTube, and you discover the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer on Ubisoft's official channels on YouTube. You will notice the Play Now button. By simply clicking on that button, the player is brought directly into the game in a browser in as quick as 5 seconds.
That's interesting.
With no download.
So,
With no download, no patch, no update, and no install, Stadia offers instant access to play. Our platform vision for Stadia is to reduce the friction between getting excited about a game and playing a game. On Stadia, you just need to click on a YouTube video or link, and you can be playing your game instantly. Compare that to today, where gamers are all too familiar with things like this.
Yeah, that's about right.
With Stadia, this waiting game will be a thing of the past.
That having to install patches and stuff is pretty annoying.
The power of instant access is magical and has already transformed the music and movie industries. And with Stadia, it is now available at the highest level of gaming.
I like the idea
but wouldn't it be even more magical if that same game and that same instant experience could be available across any screen type in your life? A key benefit of our platform is that a single creative vision and a single code base can now be enjoyed instantly across any screen. At launch, we'll support being able to play games across desktops, laptops, TV, tablets, and phones.
Is their stream messed up? Once they're talking about streaming.
This new generation of gaming is not a box.
That was fun. That's actually pretty funny.
With Stadia, the data center is your platform. There is no console that limits the developer's creative ideas and no console that limits where gamers can play. And we're about to show this to you now.
Yeah, what happens to mods?
This is not a concept, it's not a test, this is real.
To modding a game.
I'd like to bring my friend Khaled to the stage to show you this working.
All right, so we're going to see it between all different platforms. So they got a computer, a laptop, a Chromecast, a tablet, a phone.
So imagine you've just discovered that game for the first time. You're running it on the Chrome browser, and here it is on a Pixelbook running the Chrome OS. There is basically no hardware acceleration on that laptop whatsoever, and the game is running directly from our data center. It's then easy and instantaneous to move that same game experience from exactly that moment onto the phone, here on a Pixel 3 XL.
That's cool and all, but no, I don't think anyone wants to walk around with a controller like that on a phone.
And we can go straight onto the desktop PC. We actually went to buy the least powerful PC we could find here. And we could enjoy the same vision that the developer had.
Like, that's actually pretty cool.
1080p stream at 60 frames per second and the full game vision, regardless of the hardware that you're using. And then it's once again seamless to go from running on
you don't own the game.
PC to running on a tablet. In this case, once again, running the Chrome OS on a Pixel slate.
Wait, is that their controller again? Is that their controller right there?
And then finally, we then move seamlessly to the TV. And so this TV is accessed using this, which is a Chromecast Ultra HDMI streamer. There is no console required to reach.
I like that, like, everything, it like jumps between everything real easy. That's really cool.
Thanks, Khaled. Great presentation.
That's pretty cool, though. Like, jumps between everything really fast. Don't need a...
Welcoming any and all players is fundamental to Stadia, where you can try with your friends on devices you already own. And as such, we're also enabling players to use your existing
so we talked about this.
Or mouse and keyboard when playing Stadia on a laptop or PC. By eliminating that friction, that barrier to entry, we will make it simple and easy for players who want to try Stadia for the first time. But of course, we will have our own controller that has been uniquely designed to enhance the experience of the Stadia player.
You don't own a...
I'd like to introduce you to the newest member of the Google hardware family, the Stadia.
You don't own a game when you buy it digitally, though, either, so it's basically the same thing, then. Okay, so there's a Stadia controller. Okay, you know what? That looks better than that rendering. Absolutely does.
This is your gateway to the best of Stadia. It enables you to access the full Stadia experience.
It looks like a standard controller.
There are many advantages to the Stadia controller. And the first is that it will connect through Wi-Fi directly to the game.
This isn't going to set the world on fire like I thought. It's neat, but I only see this appeal to PC players, really. It's from Commander
device you want to play on and links it with your game session.
I think it's going to actually be
ensuring the highest possible
somewhat exciting to people with phones, too, though.
For players. In addition to the standard functions you'd expect to see on a modern game controller, the Stadia controller features two very important new buttons. The capture button is for sharing and saving your game experience back out to YouTube.
That's not
the
really
gamer
new.
can choose to share their experiences starting with a click of this button to themselves, to their friends, or to the world. They are in control. And
OnLive did the same thing, but years earlier.
Google Assistant button. Pressing this button allows players to immediately access the controller's built-in microphone so they can get help from the assistant for special in-game features.
There's a microphone on the controller. that's not
Our goal with Stadia is to help fuel developer creativity at every level.
It does have a headphone jack.
We'll take a look at the incredible computing power
Nintendo can learn something from that
into our data centers that will further accelerate innovation. I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, the head of engineering for Stadia, Majd Bakar.
Oh, Microsoft's got to be mad right now.
Thanks so much, Bill.
Yeah, Microsoft has to be really mad right now.
The real-time computing power we have put into our data centers that will change how we view what a game platform
This is what Microsoft wants to do with xCloud.
In order to deliver an amazing experience for your games.
But Google's doing it better
we
right
needed to
now.
bring powerful computing closer to users.
Yeah, I saw the Konami code. That's
built
funny.
Stadia's architecture on top of the Google Data Center network, the same network that has been delivering search results to your fingertips in milliseconds for more than 20 years. The network consists of fiber optic links and subsea cables between hundreds of points of presence and more than 7,500 edge node locations around the globe, all connected with our network backbone. Stadia is built on infrastructure that no one else has. More edge nodes mean the compute resources are closer to players, which results in better performance. We took that proven model and infused it with custom design, purpose-built gaming hardware,
Excited to be
creating the most powerful and connected gaming platform.
iPad mostly. Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Each
absolutely.
of Stadia's data center is composed of interconnected racks that deliver the high-power graphics, memory, and storage needed to run the most demanding games.
Yep, we got to hear that price.
Only with Google can you apply the power and flexibility of data centers to game development. This architecture is the foundation for this new generation of gaming. We've been testing this technology privately within Google for years. For our initial public test with Project Stream in 2018, we delivered up to 1080p 60 frames per second.
The 60 frames part was kind of impressive, but
when Stadia launches, we will have increased performance significantly to support resolutions up to 4K at 60 frames per second.
What? The controller has a microphone placed with wiretap.
With HDR and surround sound.
4K 60 HDR and surround
in the future,
sound?
We'll be able to stream games in up to 8K resolution.
What? 120 frames, 8K.
We know there are not that many homes or TVs in the world that have 8K today. But we also know the widespread adoption of 8K is inevitable. We have built our platform to scale up with the highest performing networks to deliver the visual quality demanded by future generation of gamers and game developers.
I'm going to have to see that.
What's even more exciting
I'm going to have to
is
say
that
4K
in
at 60.
addition to the stream you get as a player, there is a second simultaneous stream at 4K 60 frames per second that you can choose to share directly to YouTube from the Stadia data center.
What?
Meaning your gaming memories will be saved at the highest possible quality. Stadia is not constrained by the limitation of traditional console systems. Instead, we have built a truly flexible, scalable, and modern platform that allows us to push performance beyond what was previously considered possible. This architecture gives us even more flexibility to scale.
8K at 120 frames per second?
And thanks to fast transfer speeds between the
What?
Stadia instances in our data center, our platform can connect instances together to dynamically expand the capabilities along with the need of your games. As a developer, you're used to being forced to tone down your creative ambition that are limited by the hardware. But our vision with Stadia is that the processing resources available will scale up to match your imagination.
Brian says this takes off Sony, Microsoft systems are going to be that much more important to maintain the business.
The data center
You're absolutely right on
is your
that.
platform. We've partnered with our friends at AMD to build a custom GPU.
Is xCloud?
I'd like to personally thank Dr. Lisa Su, AMD President and CEO, who is here with us today. Lisa and her team helped us design a chip to bring you more than 10 teraflops of power, which we've coupled with a custom CPU to make up a single Stadia instance.
Is that what the PS5 is going to be?
And here's how the graphical power of Stadia compares to the top two consoles in the market. You can see, thank you.
Wow. That might be what the PS5 is going to be around, by the way.
The Stadia instance is a big step forward. 10.7 teraflops is more powerful than the top two consoles of the previous generation combined.
Yep. That might be what the PlayStation 5, because that's done by AMD too.
Stadia will be using the Linux operating system and the Open Graphics API, Vulkan. And when it comes to game engines, we are excited to announce that we have partnered with Unreal, who will be fully supporting the Stadia platform.
Wow.
We are also partnering with Unity to bring full support for the two most popular and familiar game engines to our development community. And we're empowering developers with an amazing array of familiar middleware that you already use to power your game development, including the most popular physics engine, Havoc.
Yeah.
And here's a list of our partners now.
Okay,
and
hold
of
on.
course, this list will continue to grow over time. With this
Cryant
suite of
is on there,
tools,
okay.
game development can
Silicon
evolve
Studios.
as quickly as the imagination of content creators.
Yeah, Visual Studio, yeah.
To achieve that, we're providing multiple ways to make games for Stadia. You can develop on
Kind of that
cloud,
blade.
your cloud, and at your desk. Our goal is to make Stadia the most
let me have that
flexible
blade,
development
so I can just,
environment ever put together.
Install it at home.
And that power is, of course, used to create the best content. Our first guest is from a company known for creating the most sophisticated and impressive gaming experiences in the industry.
Is that id?
That always demand the most of every system they run on. We had the chance to give our friends at id early access to our tools and technology. It's my absolute pleasure
Are they gonna
to
drop
welcome to the stage executive producer from id, Marty Stratton.
I wonder if Doom Eternal is going to be day one here on this thing.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us here, Phil and Majd. I'm honored to be part of a team at id
xCloud
that has
is in
spent
trouble.
more than 25 years on the bleeding edge of technical innovation. When we first met with Google about game streaming, frankly, we were skeptical about how it would work, and in particular, how it could work with a game like Doom. However, we recognized not just your ability and resources to make game streaming a reality, but more importantly, the passion to support a game as fast, fluid, and uncompromising as Doom. After all, if you're going to prove to the world that you can stream games from the cloud, what better proof than Doom?
It's true. Yeah.
And if you're going to prove to a developer that you're serious about building a robust platform, what better team than id, where we push every platform to its limit. In fact, back in 2016, Doom was the first AAA game released on Vulkan. And because Stadia is built on that same Vulkan API, it didn't take us more than a few weeks to get our upcoming sequel, Doom Eternal, looking and playing great on Stadia. Built on the fun and sense of power players expect from the series, Doom Eternal is a pure and unfiltered action FPS experience. You play as an unstoppable hero sent to destroy hell's fiercest demons across an expanding universe of unbelievable locations.
Yeah, xCloud's in trouble.
We couldn't be happier to be bringing Doom Eternal to Stadia.
Oh, yep.
And are thrilled to
Day and
announce
date.
that the game will be capable of running at true 4K resolution with HDR color at an unrelenting 60 frames per second.
Wow. Yep, Google versus Microsoft streaming war. That's right, Warrior. I don't know.
We actually can't wait to show you more of Doom Eternal very soon, in fact. We have the full game running on Stadia, live from Google data centers, and you can see it today at our developer session.
They have it playable.
Starts at 12:30 over in West Hall.
Yeah, the thing playable.
Thank you to Google and Stadia team for giving us this opportunity to share a bit about Doom Eternal. Thanks so much.
Wow. I mean,
thanks so much, Marty. It's a privilege to work with id and your incredible engineers and creators. For anyone who knows the franchise, you know Doom Eternal will look and play amazingly well on our platform. It was important for us to partner with a developer like id so that we could prove, not just to ourselves, but to the entire industry that our platform is capable of supporting the most demanding titles. And Doom will be running on a single Stadia GPU. The fundamental benefit of our cloud-native infrastructure is that developers will be able to take advantage of hardware
becoming legit
power
very quickly,
in ways never before possible. And that includes taking advantage of the power of multiple GPUs.
We need to see the pricing.
We've asked our friends at UL Benchmarks, makers of 3D Mark, to put Stadia to the test. In this video, you can see some comparison points showing the difference between our single GPU and multiple GPUs. What you see here on the left of the line is running on a single 10.7 teraflop GPU. And on the right of the line, you can see the same content running on Stadia using multiple GPUs.
Okay.
In this demo, we're highlighting real-time fluid deformation. Accurate water simulation is one of the most compute-intensive effects for games. And it's a powerful example of what Stadia is capable of. And I'm so excited to see where game developers go with this kind of performance.
We're going to be running this in like just a browser randomly.
When we designed Stadia, our goal was to solve many of the pain points that we've heard about from developers, particularly those related to multiplayer. In traditional platforms, the client and server are connected by the unpredictable internet, and therefore the multiplayer experience is limited by the client with the slowest or poorest quality connection. But with Stadia, that game client and server both remain on Google's networking backbone,
I didn't even think of that.
resulting in predictable low latency, reliable connectivity, and data security.
They're basically running in LAN on one side, and then everyone's just connecting to their own.
Google's data centers can create a predictable multiplayer experience that scales to an order of magnitude greater than anything enjoyed by gamers today. What that means is a synchronized state across a very high volume of players, where innovations like distributed physics can be built into your games.
That's clever.
Where battle royale games could go from hundreds of players today to thousands of players tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
And yes, no cheating and no hacking. Google has always believed that the world is a better place when we are able to connect without barriers. And as a new generation game platform, Stadia will, of course, embrace full cross-platform play.
Okay. Okay. Wait, okay, yeah, but
developers will have the ability to enable cross-platform multiplayer for all players, and even bring game saves and progression across as well.
Aren't you talking about just between like platforms, right?
I'd now like to introduce a member of Stadia's R&D team who are pushing the envelope,
with like
bringing the
Xbox,
best of
PlayStation,
Google
Nintendo
to game developers. Please welcome to the stage our lead designer for research and development at Stadia, Erin Hoffman-Jung.
Thank you, Phil. One of our team's favorite comments about Project Stream was a tweet that described Stadia's technology as the work of wizards. And we are incredibly fortunate to work with wizards every day, bending their magic toward games. I'd like to take you through a few technologies and features that we've been working on that are going to enhance the game development process for developers big and small.
Yeah, how much data is this thing going to use too?
That's
the big question.
On multiplayer. Stadia not only provides high-performing multiplayer experiences from player to player, but also allows developers to create new, gorgeous gaming environments. Our friends at Tangent Games have been working with us on a technical proof of concept that you can see here behind me. They spent a few short weeks creating this beautiful multiplayer world with a persistent, massively destructible environment.
Take the promises with a grain of salt. That's correct.
Using the best of Stadia technology, where every piece of the environment in this multiplayer world is destructible using
case-by-case basis, depending on internet and everything, of course.
Using Google's unique infrastructure, developers can create games built to house hundreds of players with low latency and perfect synchronization.
We're going to have to try this one out,
guys. This demo
guys.
will be available on the show floor if you want to check it out this week.
We got to know release date, too.
As we were building the platform, we collaborated with individual developers, but we also thought about trends in game development.
It could work on this. It could work on anything.
Our most treasured gaming memories.
Yeah, absolutely could work on the Switch.
Back, something that we'd lost.
Depends on Nintendo wants it there, though.
To push the boundaries of current hardware, rendering 2 or more scenes simultaneously becomes too resource intensive, and so split-screen couch co-op has been fading from gaming. But when all of your clients are in the cloud, couch multiplayer has new life again through Stadia in what we're calling Stream Connect. In the past, the resources required to execute split-screen co-op have required developers to sacrifice more of their creative goals.
That's true.
With Stream Connect, we're making it possible to realize split-screen multiplayer without any performance penalty. Behind me, you'll see a technology proof of concept that we built at Google. It's called the Night Forest, a co-op demo with asymmetric player roles. Here we have 2 players, one hunter on the ground and a supporting aerial player, set up in a standard split-screen view. Each of these screens is powered by a separate Stadia instance.
Yeah. Andy, that's a good point.
Squad-based games,
net neutrality,
could allow
like
players
throttling.
to call up the views of their teammates on demand, or utilize any polygon
modding
surface
is pretty much gone
as a receiver
when
for
if this takes over.
Stream. Stream Connect makes this possible with extremely little effort on the part of the developer, bringing dynamic squad-based gaming into easy reach, even for very small teams.
Ooh.
We've shown you 3 views, but we can keep
Kings,
going.
that's a good point.
We can keep adding streams and shape how they're shown
Mods
to the
will go the way of Bethesda
Giving a
Creation
designer
Club,
not
as in
one, but
cost
many
money.
cameras into a scene.
Ooh, you might
Now
be
imagine,
wrong to
if
something
you could
there.
Go beyond seeing
That
into
wouldn't be
players'
fun.
worlds. What if you could interact with them?
Unless
Here
they
we
actually
have our
hire
streams
people
configured
and
into a
like
command center,
talented
where a
people.
fourth player can coordinate the movements of our drone, scientist, and hunter characters. Now that coordinator is reaching into the world and placing a beacon to call attention to a particular location, seen instantly by the other players. Stream Connect is just one of the ways Google is working to support developers in creating more immersive and creative experiences.
Kevin, I
bringing
think
back effortless couch-based
I don't
co-op
have a
or
cap,
inventing
but
entirely new multiplayer
I know
games.
there's one that Comcast has
Our
like
next
quietly
technology
put
demo
on me. You know what I
focuses on
mean?
the power of the Google Cloud and machine
It
learning.
might be 1 terabyte even.
And how they can have an impact on accelerating developer creativity. Every developer feels the burn in pre-production to get to a game's magic sooner. We think Google's machine learning technology might have some answers. Here to talk about it is a developer known for creating some amazing, stylish, and celebrated independent games, including Deadlight, Rhyme, and The Invisible Hours. Please welcome Chairwoman of Tequila Works, Luz Sancho.
Thank you, Erin. I am very excited to be here for the unveiling of the Stadia platform. There are so many different benefits that Stadia delivers to all developers, big and small, and particularly for a studio like ours. At Tequila Works, we are very proud of the art styles of our games. It's something we spend a lot of time perfecting. Our development cycles typically last 24 months, and as you can imagine, a large part of that time is dedicated to defining the art style of the game. We are particularly proud of Rhyme. Its visual identity created a lasting impression with our players. But it took us a long time to get to that final style. That's why we were so excited to hear from Google about one of the tools they are making available, an amazing tool that will dramatically influence and ease this process. With Style Transfer ML, Google is applying the science of machine learning to art visualization.
Style Transfer is a machine learning technology that runs on the video frame created by the game. All of this happens in real time on a Stadia instance. We built this demo to show you what it can do. We start with a gray box world and take any image we want, in this case, Kandinsky's yellow, red, blue, and the model does the rest. Throw it Starry Night, and you have another style. Give it scratch art, and you get this. We're doing our part to empower the artist inside of every developer. The R&D team iterated through hundreds of art styles, testing this
Commodore,
technology.
you're not wrong.
And one of our favorites came from an old
prime
friend.
time of Linux gaming has arrived. Whoa. That's cool. That's cool. The Pac-Man look.
What excites us and some of our partners so far is how many playable art styles we can create just by feeding it more and more images. It inspires and empowers our artists to get the visions in their heads into interactive environments in a whole new way. And this is just the beginning.
So they're providing some tools to developers like that too. That's interesting.
In our studio today, and we are blown away by the impact it's having on our latest creations. You will see it. This could really change everything.
So that would probably be
Thank
something
you
that
so
would be
much.
exclusive
Thank
then,
you.
right? Like something like they're working on with that?
Thank you, Luz. With Style Transfer, our goal is to help developers find the magic of their games quicker. You can check out Style Transfer during the show this week. We can't wait to hear your feedback. Creators inspire us to bring the best of Google to games, and creators are at the heart of Stadia. It isn't just what they create, but how those moments are experienced by players, moments that resonate for generations to come. The last feature we want to introduce today is another special experience made possible by the cloud. It's called State Share, and here to talk about it from Q Games is Dylan Cuthbert.
Yeah, I assume you pay for like if you want like 4K or 8K or whatever.
Great to be here with all of you today. You
got to pay more money, right?
As a veteran game developer,
this is online with
creators on YouTube
better video compression. I guess so.
Games
Yeah.
to life.
Better latency, I think, too.
I've always
less
wished
latency.
those experiences could be more social and like even more fun. And I'm extremely excited by what I've learned from Google about bringing new ways to share a game's replayable moments. With a new technology called State Share, developers can let a player instantly share a playable moment from a game. This could include the world state, the player's position, items they're carrying, anything the developer wants to pack
this will do pretty well in Japan,
shareable
actually.
moment. The game's state can be encoded into a link that tells Stadia where to pick up the game. This could be sent to one
with Google
player,
Stadia.
or it can be shared with thousands at the same time on YouTube, through email, apps, messaging, or wherever links can go. To me, this totally changes how I think about the experiences for players. I can create moments specifically for this kind of sharing. Challenges to beat my incredible speedruns, or chances for other players to also experience those same like tough boss battles.
And you just send it to somebody.
I can build as many shareable moments as I want and let the internet turn my whole game into an infinitely replayable treasure hunt. I was so intrigued with the possibilities of State Share that I designed a brand new game around it, and it's the biggest title ever for Q Games. Right now, it's still under wraps, but I can't wait to reveal more about this game later this year.
That'd be an exclusive game too, then.
Thank you very much.
Yo, is Google going to E3? Like, is that happening?
Thanks, Dylan. State Share is one more way that Stadia is working to empower developers with entirely new tools that embrace a player's desire to discover, share, and build a community. We're extremely excited by the reception it's gotten from our early partners so far. And with that, I'd like to introduce the head of gaming at YouTube to tell you what Stadia means for content creators. Please welcome Ryan Wyatt.
Oh, Ryan's there. Oh, cool.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm very excited to be here at the unveiling of Stadia. As you've heard, Stadia is about delivering the best developer experience so that the best games can be made. But we're also committed to making sure we have the best creator experience so that the entire community gets stronger together. YouTube is where people come to watch gaming. More than 200 million gamers come to YouTube every single day to engage with their favorite games and creators. And they come because of the community of gaming creators and viewers who have turned YouTube into the gaming platform that it is today. We're always looking for ways to strengthen the connection between creators and viewers, and Stadia is designed to bring them together like never before. Gaming has always been the backbone of YouTube since the platform first was founded in 2005. And one thing YouTube gaming creators want is to engage with their fans. That will always be the most important thing to them. That's why over 50 billion hours of gaming content was watched on YouTube last year alone. And to just give you an idea of how much 50 billion hours is, you could walk to Pluto and back more than a dozen times. Stadia is focused on empowering both creators and viewers to achieve new heights by breaking barriers of content capture and creating unique ways to engage with and grow a creator's audience.
I like the sound of this.
Established creators will have new ways to engage and monetize on YouTube with Stadia features. And with aspiring creators, we're going to break down the barrier of entry in capturing content by giving you the ability to highlight, live stream, and capture directly from Stadia.
You see, it sounds like live streaming is about to get a bit of an upgrade, too.
YouTube link being a direct access point into the game, and that is a huge opportunity for both big and small creators. We're empowering creators to forge deeper connections with their audience, and one of those ways will be to make it easier to actually game with them. Often when you're watching a stream, you find yourself wishing you could be in there playing alongside with your favorite creators. On traditional platforms, you'd have to fire up your console or your PC and just hope that you get matched up with them. However,
with PewDiePie shown. I wonder why, Joel.
Called Crowdplay, you'll be able to simply click a button,
YouTube doesn't like PewDiePie that much, which is interesting,
and jump in and play with YouTube creators that you're watching. Take a look at the video behind me. It's a live stream of NBA 2K.
Mm-hmm.
The person watching can simply click the link and be placed into the lobby for the next game. If you think about it, Crowdplay can act like an all-new lobby system for games. And with Stadia, YouTube becomes the ultimate discovery and engagement tool for content.
How NBA is with the timing in Stadia.
Want full management capabilities over this feature.
Like for the jump shots and everything?
To all the game developers, publishers, and the millions of YouTube content creators out there, soon we'll have more information to share on these engagement tools and how we'll be working with you to connect with and build your communities. I'd now like to introduce a friend of mine to the stage. He has over 11 million subscribers on his channel, The Game Theorist, and he and his wife, Stephanie, have often been advocates for the creator community. So we were delighted to talk to him about Stadia and what it means for creators. Please welcome to the stage my friend, Matt Pat.
Thanks, Ryan. It's an incredible honor to be here today. Now, for us creators, our audience is our lifeblood. Whether we're breaking down the real-life science of the fictional world of Fallout, or diving into the theories
behind another capture device in trouble. I don't think so. Not yet.
Gameplay on our live stream channel, GT Live, we're always looking for new ways
says
to
Google
connect
changing the
and
game.
engage with our audience. Which is why, when I first met with the Stadia team, I was floored by the impact that it can have for not just gamers, but also creators. Stadia not only empowers me to easily
Wait a minute,
create
they didn't
and
use
share
the
my
Fortnite
work,
keyword
but
up there.
it also unlocks completely new ways for me to build a stronger bond with my audience. Crowdplay, for example, gives our audiences the chance to instantly jump into a game with us.
See, that sounds
and then
cool.
The creator can feature them live on the stream in
as
real
long as you
time.
can control it, obviously.
Another feature that I'm incredibly excited about is State Share. Here, the possibilities are literally endless. Live streaming horror games, for instance, has been one of the most popular formats for live streaming on YouTube since its inception. But now with State Share, you can actually take this to the next level by letting the people who are just watching you replicate the exact same scenario you just played through in-game. Like that impossible moment when you're out of med kits and you suddenly have a zombie breathing down your neck. Imagine the endless breathing down your neck. Imagine the endless variations that creators can layer on top of all their favorite games by specifically designing challenges oriented to their unique audience. For creators, you suddenly become a game maker yourself. Creating challenges through State Share allows us to continue creating content for all your favorite games long after the game itself has been completed. And on the other hand, the audience now can reconnect with all their favorite games in completely new, exciting, and fresh ways.
Yeah, I'm curious what like the back office of that looks
also,
like.
As a gamer, I'm looking forward to tremendously all the new possibilities of gameplay that Stadia opens up and that can be built only for Stadia. I mean, think about this. 1,000-player battle royale matches. Incredible new graphical possibilities.
That'd take a
and
while,
of course,
I think.
all of this is available across any screen. Literally, I could just pick up my phone and start playing exactly where I left off on my laptop, even while sitting in an audience of a keynote like this one. I hope you're not playing right now. A lot of exciting stuff happening on stage, but you could do it. Stadia just truly unlocks new opportunities to create, share, and engage across YouTube. I am personally thrilled about what Stadia brings to the table, how it unites technology and entertainment in completely new ways that we have never seen before, and in ways that can only be possible through the combined power of Google and YouTube. So I thank the Stadia team for having me in here today. I can't wait to see what else you guys have in store, and I'll see the rest of you on the floors of GDC.
I still rather buy the Intellivision system. Hey, it's coming.
Connecting players and creators to their favorite games is core to our vision. We've shown you how YouTube and Stadia offer the ability for gamers to connect with content creators and game developers in extraordinary ways.
It's possible.
There is another Stadia integration with YouTube that we're really excited about.
They could make it free and then collect data and ads and stuff.
But as games reach more and more people,
you never know.
The design problem of creating a perfect challenge gets more and more difficult. When a player is stuck on a level or puzzle and desperately wants that next beat in the story or the breathtaking views in the next level, what do? Today, they have to leave the game, fire up YouTube, find the right video, scrub to the right part of that video, and watch how it's done.
Yeah, that's true.
With Stadia, that help will be just a button press away.
I'll be honest.
Take this example
streaming
from our friends at Crystal Dynamics with Rise of the Tomb Raider. When the player gets
It's
stuck
providing
on a level,
quite a
like
bit of
me,
confidence there.
Instead of grabbing a laptop or a phone, they just need to push the button on the Stadia controller to get help from the Google Assistant. No distractions, no need to take your eyes off the game, and no secondary devices needed.
I mean, that's a cool idea, obviously. It's like the evolution of strategy guides, right?
It's another deep way in which we're connecting players with the games they love. Stadia is about removing barriers for players to get to their favorite content and moments. With Stadia, any link can be an access point to the game. So for a developer, the entire internet can become your store.
That reminded me of back in the day when you have a strategy guide that you bought.
Stadia store, text messages, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Google search results, YouTube videos, Gmail, or from the Google Play Store, gamers are going to be able to find, discover, and enjoy your games anywhere they are, and easily share them with their friends. It's a truly revolutionary way to discover your games.
So you can do it right on the Google Play Store, too?
To a variety of games, and we're happy to say that we will offer comprehensive parental controls for all content. We've already shipped development hardware to more than 100 studios around the world, and more than 1,000 creatives and engineers are hard at work bringing their games to our platform. In addition to partnering with developers big and small, I'm also thrilled to announce that today we are forming Stadia Games and Entertainment, which will build experiences designed exclusively for Stadia as Google's own first-party game studio.
They have a studio. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. What do they got? Hit us with an exclusive.
And we've recently been joined by one of the industry's most successful
you can start a game on your phone and resume it on your Atari VC. Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new head of Stadia Games and Entertainment, Jade Raymond.
Yep. We talked about this hire, remember? Talked about this last week.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everyone. I am so honored to be here at the unveiling of Stadia. In my career, I've been lucky enough to work with some of the most talented and passionate developers in the world. Passion is at the root of all great games, and it's what motivated me to join Google. What I love about games is that we continue to redefine what a game is. When I was 12, I saw the holodeck on an episode of Star Trek. And even though the games I played at the time were side-scrolling, pixel-based kind of games like Mega Man,
this podcast is going to be lit this week.
It was obvious to me that one day
right, Cersei, Jillian,
games would take place in
interesting stuff to talk about here.
Worlds.
Telling you.
Today, you have seen some incredible
Wait, she saw the holodeck when she was 12?
And hopefully, like me, you now believe that we are on the brink of a huge revolution in gaming. One that will unlock a whole new level of creativity for developers. There are no limits to the human imagination. Now that the data center is your platform, the processing power is limitless as well. I'm excited to announce
Kings, I just want a release date so we can test it. That's right.
Stadia Games and Entertainment, I will not only be bringing first-party game studios to reimagine the new generation of games. Our team will also be working with external developers to make all of the bleeding-edge Google technology you have seen here today available to partner studios big and small.
What third-party studios you want to see get their hands on that? Or that 10.7 teraflop box?
Going down the bold path, learning what is working best, and sharing key tools and tech so that we can take games
Square Enix
to
in there?
the next level
Get Platinum Games?
together. The way I see it, there has never been a more exciting time to be a developer. And Stadia will be a driving force defining the future.
Consumer game journalists will love the walkthrough feature, unless they have to actually play the games. Oh, man.
Thank you.
Who's that about? Which site is that about? Jeez.
Thank you, Jade, and a very warm welcome to Google. With Stadia, our goal is to combine the world of people who play games and the world of people who watch games into one global community powered by the best of Google.
We'll work on like a smart fridge.
We've shared a lot today. With Stadia, you'll be able to build your games backed by Google technology like Google Assistant, ML, and TensorFlow. You will be able to deliver your games to more gamers across the globe through Chrome,
no price.
Chromecast, and Pixel. And you'll be able to connect with the biggest community of gamers and YouTube content creators. So, how do you get involved? For developers who want to create content for Stadia, we welcome you to go to stadia.dev, where you can apply to get access to development tools. If you want to partner with our team at Google to help bring your game to market, we have Stadia Partners, a program designed to give you the resources your team needs to make something great. And for players who want to be the first to learn more, you can go to stadia.com and follow us on these social channels. So, when will players be able to experience
Ooh, how does this work with
Stadia?
VR? That's a good question.
I'm thrilled to announce that Stadia is
Michael,
launching this year, 2019.
Oh, okay. Kings, I would love to see Rockstar with 10.7 teraflops. That's right. Art Attack.
We will launch first in the US, Canada, the UK, and most of Europe. It's been my privilege today to
I guess we'll be trying this year
on behalf of the thousands of Googlers who've worked tirelessly to bring this vision to life. This is the first step in the journey, and we'll be connecting with you again in the summer to share more details
Stadia
on the
with
games we get
5G.
to play at launch and beyond.
Keegan, that's a good
Thank
point.
you very much for gathering around with all of us today. With Stadia,
They showed
we can
its
all
off,
dream
too.
bigger, and together build a playground for every imagination.
They didn't say a price, and I felt like I thought about it. I was like, they're not going to say anything about pricing. So we're still trying to. Man, they are taking shots at PlayStation and Xbox. You see that? Say the future is not a box. Man. Nothing on price. Where's the Spartan Sega console? I really hope Microsoft Xbox has something up their sleeve. I mean, if their xCloud is in 4K 60, it's over. Well, yeah, Google's an American-based company, so. Man, it is interesting. Where does Nintendo go when you don't need a Switch to seamlessly play between mobile and TV play? I mean, let's look at this for a second. They're doing they brought a streaming service that seems way more capable than what we originally thought by a good bit. Like I said, Keegan even also bringing up, like said, the good point of 5G eventually hitting phones. Maybe at the end of this year, we're hearing, possibly at the beginning of 2020, somewhere in there, we'll really start to hear more about that. But that's the other thing I keep thinking about, Toasty, is what if the service, the actual act of streaming is free, but you have to buy the games, which makes sense. That would be something else. It is going to all be based on our internet connection, of course, and that's basically why Google's putting this out there now. There's still other boxes, obviously, systems to buy. You know, we got PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. But the idea of people who don't have access to something like the next-gen systems at like a PS5 or an Xbox, because let's say they launch at $500, there are going to be a lot of people who can't buy that right away. But if a new game comes out, a third-party game, and it's on Stadia as well, I mean, you just buy it on Stadia. You buy it on Stadia and you play it, right? I mean, that actually seems kind of cool in that case, right? You guys are going to have to let me know about this one, because I feel like it is a really cool idea. I don't think it's going to be a replacement, obviously, like over the next generation or two, but let's just say things really take off for this, and all of a sudden they have 100 million people minimum on Stadia, because they're not going generation to generation. It's going to stick around. So they will pretty much just track users as they go, and there won't be a restart for things like generations. So they could conceivably get to 500 million, 1 billion users at some point, you know, years from now, decades from now, it is going to be interesting. If they are determined to be accessible to everyone, I think it'll be like the Steam store with added streaming service, just buying the games. Ryan, that's a great idea. Look, if there's no subscription service for just streaming the games, I still think 4K 60 is probably going to be a little like, you know, Netflix and Hulu. I know Hulu has it. No, Netflix does. They have an added tier for 4K because, I mean, it costs some more money to do it, I guess. If 1080 60 is just free, like that's just the base, you know, you bought the game, you can stream it 1080 60. Here is I don't know, the next NBA, here's NBA 2K19 or 2K2021 or something, right? You don't need the PS5 or the Xbox Scarlet to play it. That would actually, I think, be pretty interesting to people. Player One says, several of my friends have too slow of an internet connection to be able to use this. That's the big thing. I think it comes down to if it's scalable. So let's say your internet connection is bad, but they have an option that's like 720p at like 30 frames, you know, like the bare minimum, and you don't need much. That could work. It's going to come down to latency more than anything, but if 1080 60 is basically free, and then you got to pay like an extra couple bucks per month at 4K 60, you might be surprised. Paleo said, did anyone notice that there was no Japanese developer support? Yeah, Google is an American-based company, so the thing that Google runs into is they're technically very similar to Microsoft. So Microsoft doesn't have a lot of Japanese support really at all. Like, they don't have great relationships with them. So Google's very similar, and they didn't announce any here technically, and I think they'll announce them going forward as we get further in. Like I said, I know Sega's working with them. I don't know if Square or anyone else, though. I know Sega. And like when I heard Sega, I said, okay, they do have some Japanese support. Bandai Namco is working with them. So I think Japan is excited about this, but it's not available in Japan yet, right? They mentioned everything but Japan pretty much to get started with. A lot of the major territories that Google would work with right away. So the streaming service is cool. Like I said, it's cool to lower barrier to entry and everything. I like the idea of the multiplayer stuff too, by the way, being all local there, and it's just the latency you have to deal with getting to your player. That's interesting too, because technically everything on their end is LAN, like it's all LAN connection there, and it's just about how fast, I guess, you can get to your person through latency. So I wonder, as weird as it sounds, if some of the multiplayer might actually end up being smoother because of that. It'll eliminate piracy completely. Like that's why Ubisoft is on board with this. They desperately wanted streaming to work. EA does as well. We saw NBA 2K, which is Take-Two, right? That was 2K. So Take-Two is probably going to be on board with something like they might put Red Dead Redemption 2 on there when it goes to PC. That would be interesting. What if Google got like a timed exclusive for Red Dead? That box, by the way, that they showed, I think is going to be similar to what the PS5 is going to be. They said it was, what, 10.7 teraflops? I think that's going to be similar to what the PS5 is going to be. So that'll be fun to see that. But they're getting 4K 60 out of it. So, I mean, there you go. We'll see what they get out of it. The split screen stuff was kind of cool too, though. Although they could be using a couple of those blades in tandem for doing some of the stuff. Ultimate Debate says, if it's $5 a month for service and games, I'd buy in. That's the thing, though. I feel like the games, you're going to have to buy the games, I think. I think you're going to have to buy the games. So most likely, you buy the games, and there's a low option that's free, and then you got to pay an extra for a tier for 4K. Let me give you an example. Google Drive. You get 5 gigabytes for free, right? But if you want the bigger option, like I have like a 1 terabyte option, that costs more money. And there's also like a 100 gigabyte option that costs more money, I believe. And I think that might be how this is tiered, where there's a base model that you can use that's just free using their data servers. And then you got to pay for more. That's like, I mean, they said it would work up to 8K at 120 frames per second, which I assume means you need a couple of those blades to work in tandem to make that work. But the fact that they already have that, they're already thinking about that, is insane. So, man, that's crazy. That could be cool. Wait a minute, they don't have 4K 60 on their on Google yet, do they? No, they might. I know they don't have 8K yet. Actually, I guess I could look at this real quick. Nah, I just have regular 4K. Sony said streaming is a threat to their hardware. Yeah, I think everyone said it. Nintendo's talked about it. Sony's talked about it, how, let's say traditional consoles go away, they have to be able to adapt. Nintendo and Sony can probably adapt. It comes down to games, right? They have the games, so they can adapt. That's kind of the way I see it. Certainly City says, Google Plus, never forget, this company doesn't have an incredible track record for launching these take over the industry project. You're right. This one seems they're a bit more serious, though. So, Gordon says chronic. That's the thing, though. I think they're a bit more interested in this because of that. And I see no JRPGs, no deal. RPGs would be like the easiest thing to put on here because latency doesn't really matter on RPGs. So, like how would you play a fighting game on this? I feel like you can't. That's the thing. Unless latency is just nothing, like it's just 0, how do you play a fighting game on this? They didn't mention that at all. I also saw 2K, when I saw NBA 2K, I thought, how's the latency going to affect your shots? Because there is obviously a timing when it comes to going up for a shot and releasing. Like, how is that going to work? The only game we played was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I think that was on purpose because there wasn't a ton of latency there, but it was probably harder to tell just because we didn't have a game that needs super precise timing. They didn't put Street Fighter on there for a reason, right? They didn't put NBA on there right away for a reason. I think it's just because of the timing. So, yeah, Austin's right. There's a lot more effort here. They've created a studio. They've sent out development kits. There's a lot of stuff happening. They said they talked to over 1,000 developers at this point. Things are happening, and I'm going to be curious. Oh, that's a good test right there. I mean, they say they're doing Doom, right? Doom Eternal. That's very fast, very quick, very reactionary game. Nintega says maybe they get NetherRealm in this for Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, MK11's out soon, so it would be a late port most likely. Thanks, Shire. I see you there for $1. It'd be a late port most likely. They could do it. They could. And the first fighting game that goes this thing is going to be fascinating because people are going to scrutinize that thing like crazy. You know they're going to. Davey says, I prefer physical copies of my games. Yeah, I get that. Trust me, I do too. But I also understand where the market's shifting to. And I hate to say it to a lot of people like physical, but man, is that going to be... That might already be the minority at this point based on what we see in the UK sales charts that I watch week to week. And everything else, everything's going heavily digital right now. Games as a service taking over. We'll still get our single player stuff though, don't worry. Like Sony's still gonna make single player games, Nintendo's still gonna make single player games. Microsoft, well, they'll be Microsoft. But here's the real thing. The real battle, people are looking at this. The real battle is Microsoft's xCloud versus Google's Stadia. Okay, Google came out swinging here. This was big. If you look at this, just take the other stuff away. Look at the streaming services. Look at what we've seen on xCloud when they tried playing that on a phone. And then look at what we just saw with Stadia. Microsoft, man, that's going to be tough. Microsoft needs to figure something out because Google has the integration. They're on, do you see how many devices they're on? They're on phones. They're on tablets. They're on computers. They're on Chromecast. They're on everything. They're probably going to be on smart TVs soon, right? It's on everything. So unless Microsoft has something really cool figured out, I don't know. I don't know how you combat what Google showed here today if you're Microsoft with xCloud. So, yeah, we need to see about Doom Eternal. We don't even know when Eternal's coming out yet, but if it launches day and date on Stadia, that will be very interesting to see how that turns out. Absolutely. 4K 60, though, is impressive. I gotta give him that. You think Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to this? Actually, I don't. I don't think that's going to happen. It sounds weird because it's on PC, but I think Microsoft's biggest concern right now is Google and their Stadia. I don't think they care about Nintendo. I don't think they care about PlayStation, but I definitely think they care about Google right now because Google is threatening their streaming service, xCloud. So it's funny because Microsoft preaches the put stuff everywhere mentality, right? They're like, put it everywhere. I don't think they want it on Stadia. Icarus says, why do they need 10 teraflops for a console if it's just a streaming box? Can it work? Okay, so this is what they told us, the Icarus. It's 10 teraflops for one of their, it seemed to be 10 teraflops for one of their blades. So one of the systems that they have at their data center is over 10.7 teraflops that you're running your game from. they worked with AMD to create a custom chip. Now, it doesn't mean that they couldn't possibly have hardware down the line since they've technically built it into their blades, but it sounded like their priority, as it should be, I think, for them, is to get their digital stuff done, their streaming. So it seems like they went full speed ahead with AMD, who is also creating the chips for the next Xbox and PlayStation, so keep that in mind, created a 10.7 teraflop chip for a blade in a service or a data center. So, interesting stuff. Shire says, if Stadia rockets, I'm a tad concerned about Google becoming a major monopoly. We don't want them in a position where they can abuse the system. Well, we know Microsoft is going to start trying to do their xCloud stuff. They've seemingly pushed it back, though, because I thought we were supposed to be already trying it out. We'll see. Just Air says, gaming on Apple just became easy. You know what? Yeah. I mean, if you got Chrome on there, apparently it'll work. Izay Ramos says they said controller connects to server via Wi-Fi. Okay, interesting. I gotta get a look at that controller. I'm gonna get that thing and get that thing apart. I gotta get a look at that. Got that microphone in the back. So this is interesting, though. I like the idea of it. I think it'd be kind of cool, right? So I am definitely interested in what we're seeing here. Let me go. Let me grab any of the other donations I may have missed here. Oh, Rafi says, is it 4K streaming with ultra settings or low? That's another good question. I feel like at the 10.7 teraflops, it's probably at high, right? And because they can also use them in tandem. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a combination. Let me go through here. There we go. Stuff we play. My main concern is often with these showcases, things seem better than in the final. I think game streaming is the future, but I'm not sure if we're at a point where it can become mainstream yet. That 8K is impressive, though. Yeah, 8K is... Look, they kept saying 4K 60 after that. That was literally just showing their chart. I think it's just future. Like, oh, we can use 2 of these blades or 3 of these blades in tandem and do 8K at 120. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. Where does Google where does Nintendo go when you don't need a Switch to seamlessly switch between mobile and TV play? They'll keep making their system and they'll keep putting Mario, Smash Bros, Zelda. Nintendo has IPs that they just throw on there and people buy them. That's kind of the way it is. And it works out well. Let me read. Akronal tried to take a guess here at Reggie showing up on Google's stage. I mean, you gotta take your shot, you know. I can't wait to discuss this on Google Wave MVP. Hey, you know what? They got something going here. We can't ignore the streaming stuff as much as some people do. You can't ignore it. RX Gaming says they are trying to kill the consoles run away. I mean, you never know. You never know. Now, I think they're trying to exist, and I think they have something here. I think it's an idea that is interesting. I know not everyone wants to hear. I think it's interesting though, what they're doing. So, Sega's working with them, but they really only talked about a couple partners here. But they have over 1,000 developers they're working with, and they didn't even tell us about what one of their first party games is. So, I'm questioning. I wonder if Google's going to E3. That'd be an interesting thing. And I wonder if we need to start looking for, we look at the bottom logos of games after they're released and they're doing their trailer and stuff. Then at the end, we see like the PlayStation logo, the Switch logo, the Xbox logo. Do we have to start looking for that Stadia logo next to it as well? That's the big question there. So they didn't tell us about price, which tells me it's either complicated or it's just not free. And they didn't tell us about all of their games or anything. So we'll see. Digital Foundry has exclusive performance testing video up. There you go, guys. I would check that out so we can see. I played the... I did play Project Stream. I even did a video on it. I was impressed by how it felt, but there was still quite a bit of latency there, but it wasn't enough, I think, to really matter for a game like that. Fighting games are pretty much off the table, I'll say that, or anything with serious pinpoint timing. But, you know what? I think it was a pretty good show. I think they could have done a bit more, but we'll see when we can even buy. We didn't even know the price on that controller. They didn't tell us anything with that, so... We'll see. I think we'll find out more about this over the summer, maybe E3 and stuff. So we'll see. It was a fun. Yeah, the D-pad. Unfortunately, it looked a little closer to the rendering I would have liked it to. The D-pad looked like it was tactile, didn't it? Like it was a clicky D-pad. I don't like those. But well, we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go forward here. So, you know what, it was pretty fun, I think. It was a fun little stream. But I guess that is the Google Stadia reveal. It was good. It was good stuff, I think. It's definitely not going to appeal to people who have who enjoy their physical stuff, and I get that because I'm still obviously on board with physical stuff. But you know what? It was fun. It was fun. I guess that's going to do it here, guys. I'll do a follow-up video. We'll go over everything. And we'll see what we get. I'll leave this video up. I don't know if it'll get claimed or not, but I'll at least leave it up for anyone who missed it, so you can kind of see it. People asking about a recap of everything. I'll leave it up so you guys can see it, unless it gets claimed, in which case, sorry, one of the songs got blocked or something. But hey, Google knew people were probably gonna be watching this streaming, and so I hope they didn't put anything up that would get blocked or claimed by Google or somebody else. But let me know what you guys think about this, of course, in the comments on the video. Hopefully, if it stays up. Anyway, guys, I'll see you. I'll see if I need to make a video for this, because I think there's other stuff happening. And then, guys, we have the Nindies Showcase tomorrow at noon, and we'll be streaming that here as well. Thanks to the near 12,000, that's right, 12,000 peak concurrent people who stopped by to see this. It was fun. And we got Nindies tomorrow. Then we got to run up to Sekiro, then Yoshi. Then in April, we got Final Fantasy and stuff on the Switch and some other stuff. So Mortal Kombat. It'll be a fun few months. Then we go up to E3, and we'll see if Google has anything else there. And of course, we'll see what Nintendo has. There's some rumors I've been wanting to cover for the Switch and the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Scarlet, and maybe I'll do those, but I had to deal with Atari VCS yesterday. So if you missed that video, that's out there too. Thanks, guys, for stopping by, and I'll definitely be seeing you live streaming tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for the Nindies Showcase.